Hello. Welcome. Still here, day 2 of the 20th annual Player Networking event. I am Monique James, and I am here. This conversation was already good. The 2 to 3 minutes before we started broadcasting, it was already good. I am sitting here with Mr. Hakeem Valles of Perspective Global Media. He is here at the P&E event. We've already been talking about media and the power of leveraging media for global perspectives. I love that. So Hakeem, tell our viewers what you do, what the company does, but also, because we're talking about P&E, and we'll get into your transition and what that was like for you, leaving professional sports into becoming an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so me as a person, I played 3 years in the NFL for the Lions, Cardinals, and Giants. I invested in real estate and cannabis along the way. As I wrapped up my career, I doubled down in the real estate sector. And recently I just launched Perspective Global Media. Essentially, we're a global media agency, and our clients are small businesses, startups, real estate professionals, and financial services professionals. And we essentially help them with a tactical method in terms of different tactics on scaling their content strategy. And then we also handle the post-production of that content.
First, you speak in my language. First, the tactical stuff. I'm a veteran, so I identify with shoot, move, communicate.
Absolutely.
And definitely leveraging the content that they're creating.
It's critical.
For maximum impact. I love that. So talk a little bit about, you said near the end of your career, you doubled down on the real estate. Did you kind of see that end coming, or were you just thinking, I really need to start planning for my future? What kind of caused that shift for you?
Yeah, so I think you may have misheard me. So I doubled down once I got out. But
got it.
When I was in it, so a little bit of background, my degree is business with a concentration in real estate.
Okay.
The girl I was dating in college, her dad started a house flipping business. He took me under his wing, and I flipped like 10 houses while I was in college.
Wow.
So then it was a smooth transition. When I went to the NFL my rookie year, I was paying $2,000 a month for rent in Tempe, Arizona, and I was like, I'm going to spend $24,000 this year on air. And there's a government program called the FHA loan. And most people think that you can put 3.5% down on a single family home. That's all they tell you. Same thing with the VA loan.
Right.
They tell you can put no money down on a single family home. In reality, you can put no money down with a VA, or with an FHA loan, you can put 3.5% down on a single family, a duplex, a triplex, or a 4-unit apartment building. So I bought a 4-unit apartment building, came out of pocket $13,000 my rookie year, lived in 1 unit, ran out the other 3, and lived for free. And then as I kind of progressed through my career, went to the Detroit Lions, did the same exact thing in Detroit, got into the real estate side of the cannabis space in Michigan. And then when I retired, that was when I kind of shifted my strategy, doubled down, and now we're focusing on larger apartment communities, so like 50 units and up.
Do you think you, looking back, did you always have that entrepreneurial perspective, or do you think kind of having that experience of being taken under and mentored by somebody that was already doing it, did that kind of expose you to it and open that possibility up for you?
So for me, I think something I've always prided myself on is self-awareness. And since I was a kid, I've been an entrepreneur. So in 5th grade, I had the Green Boys lawn care service. When I was in middle school, my mom had a Sam's Club card. So she used to take me to Sam's Club. I'd get the 36-count box of Skittles for $13. And then I'd go to school every day with 2 backpacks, one with Skittles, one with my books.
Oh my gosh.
And I'd make $23 per box of Skittles. And then when I went to college, so going from high school to college, my little brother cracked his iPhone 4 for like the 10th time. And my dad was like, I'm not paying for it, just deal with your cracked phone. And I was like, let me check it out. Went to YouTube. There was a tutorial on how to fix it. Went to Amazon. It was $25 for a new screen. It took me 6 hours, but when I pressed the lock button on the side, the phone worked. And I was like, ding, like my entrepreneurial light just went off. I take my phone out of my pocket, take it apart, put it back together over and over until I could do it from 6 hours to 20 minutes.
Wow.
And when I showed up to my college campus my freshman year, I was the iPhone repair guy. I fixed 3 to 4 phones a day. The mall kiosks were charging $100, so I charged $60 because it only cost me $25 to buy a screen. A year into doing that, I never used to throw out the cracked screens. I just figured it would be bad for the environment, so I used to save them. So then I was just looking up things to do with those cracked screens, and there was a company in Alabama that would buy my screens for $5. And I was like, If I'm just knowing about this, how many other iPhone repair people don't know about this? I went to every iPhone kiosk in the mall, iPhone repair shop, and I would say, I'll give you $2.50 per cracked screen. And literally my dorm room is just a whole bunch of boxes and bubble wrap paper, and I'm wrapping them up, shipping them off to Alabama for $5 a screen.
I love this.
Just flipping and flipping and flipping.
I absolutely love this. That is, you, just listening to you, I can't help but think of Gary Vee.
Oh, yeah.
And how he talks about
going right now.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious? So I can't help but think about, he talks about the baseball cards.
Oh, it's real.
The eBay stuff. 100%. Like that is at its core.
And I think
that's what entrepreneurship is.
It's been self-awareness. I think most people, entrepreneurship is cool. That's one thing he says a lot.
Yeah.
And you could become an entrepreneur and probably keep your head above water for a year. And I think being an entrepreneur is something that's just that burning desire. I don't know why I was fixing iPhones.
Yeah.
I'm not passionate about iPhones. I'm not passionate about flipping. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's just DNA.
That is awesome. Do you think being here at PNE and you having gone through multiple transitions from just everything that you've talked about, from elementary school to being the iPhone repair guy in college, professional athlete, and now being this multi-passionate or multi-hyphenate, because you just said it's not really the passion, but it's the game of the entrepreneur. It's just another game, right? You see, there's another game. So what do you think players today, how do you think they can be prepared, or is that something that is innate? Do you think somebody today that's in the league right now that doesn't have any idea when their career is going to end and maybe doesn't have a plan for what the next step is going to be, is that something that you think in your experience can be taught to them or trained to them so they can start to build the next level now?
See, I think that I don't think everyone's meant to be an entrepreneur. I don't think everyone's meant to be a number one. I think you could be 10 times happier if you were just a CMO or CFO or just employee number 57. I think athletes get caught up in the bubble because we came from nothing, most of us, and now you come to this lump sum of money. So your natural response, just being an animal, when you're done playing, you want to still make that same type of money.
Right.
You still want to be able to be in the limelight, still moving and shaking, calling the shots, not having a boss, things like that. So naturally, it's a natural transition to become an entrepreneur or something of that sort. I think that players need to take advantage of the media platforms that are available to us while they're playing, so they can actually figure out what their passion is, figure out how they can actually move and shake in those industries. Like I tell every single NFL player should have a podcast, and you should interview damn near every single industry leader in the city that your team is in, because you have the access. You could interview the governor, you could interview the mayor, you could interview, if you're in St. Louis, the CEO of Anheuser-Busch, you could interview anyone. And now I think from that, you flip the script, and now get all these different industry leaders in your network, learn from their perspective, and now figure out, okay, I actually like that. I don't like that. I like this. I don't like this. But then on top of that, those people just love that direct access to you. So now what you're going to see is, whether it's brand endorsements, whether it's ambassador opportunities with some of these companies. So now that's what I think. That's the game, in my opinion, if you're a pro athlete, to actually how to take advantage of it and to make that transition 10 times smoother. Yeah,
and speaks, again, the root of that is the self-awareness. So even first recognizing, well, I need to start planning for tomorrow, the next day. Trying something out like the podcast to present themselves with a lot of alternatives to figure out what lights them up. And then double down on that. And then if they want to explore other things, you can always find people to operate in the areas
100%.
that you aren't number one in. I think that's so amazing. And again, speaks to, you've already said it a couple of times, that self-awareness. Do you think have you always had that? Or how has being a professional athlete helped nurture that in you personally?
Self-awareness, I think, I truly do think I've always had it, because like back to, like I said, 5th grade, back to, here's even another story. When I was in middle school, Winslow Township Middle School, they cut sports. I never was passionate about football. I wanted to go to the NBA. Like everyone where I was from had hoop dreams, and they cut sports. So if I couldn't practice basketball, how am I going to go to Duke University? And LA Fitness is open 24 hours, and I asked my dad, hey, Dad, can you take me to LA Fitness every morning he literally said, "I'll take you, but I'll never wake you up. So it's up to you. If you have that drive, that own passion, that own, this is what you want to do, I'll take you every single morning." And 7th grade, 8th grade, snowing, rain, doesn't matter. Every single morning, 4 o'clock, get my shots in, get my workout in, and then 5 o'clock, the older guys would come in. I'd run pickup ball with them. And I think back to then, like, I think about those workouts when, like, you know, the cliche, you know, work hard when no one's watching and all that type of stuff. I actually truly do believe that it's those cliche moments of, you know, tapping back in that sense of, like, to get to that next level.
Well, and then it shows, right? It shows. I like to tell people, it's easy to pretend, especially on social media, it's easy to pretend you're doing a thing, but you will one day have to show and prove. So if you can master the discipline when nobody is watching, you'll be able to fully exploit, and I'm using that word on purpose, exploit the opportunities when they're presented. But it takes that discipline behind the scenes. It takes those 4 a.m. wake-ups, which, again, speak to the life of an athlete. Like, that's, you practice so that when you get on the field, you can excel 100%. And you can win.
But people don't see that. People don't see that work you put in back in
right. Exactly. So this is a really rich conversation. I appreciate you jumping in to talk with me really quickly at this event. So tell the people that are watching where they can find out more about you and Perspective Global Media and anything else that you happen to have going on. Because I'm sure you have something else going on.
I'm always, you know, ripping and running. The best way to find out about me is, you know, my Instagram is Hak Valles 80, H-A-K, V as in Victor, A-L-L-E-S, and then the number 80. LinkedIn is a great place to connect with me. We just launched perspectiveglobalmedia.com. I think one thing I should just leave something with your, you know, audience members. The best piece of advice I've ever gotten in my life is actually from an NFL player, and it's the fortunes in the follow-up. I think there's so much, like, we're presented with hundreds of thousands of opportunities every single day. You listen to podcasts, you listen to anything, you hear a dope guest come on a podcast, at the end of it, they say the same exact thing. Hey, what's the best way for someone to reach out to you? Oh, I answer every single email. Email me at blah, 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 blah.
But people don't do it.
People don't follow up. Like, follow up. Like, I answer every email, Instagram, all that type of stuff. It might take 2 weeks, it might take a month, but follow up.
Yeah, that is where the fortune is.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Hakeem.
No,
this was good.
That's awesome.
This was such a good conversation, and I know there are people watching, whether they identify as an athlete, as an entrepreneur, as somebody on a personal growth and development journey. There were things that you said that spoke to all of those areas, and that is, at the end of the day, is what matters. It's not about what you do for a living. It's about who you are and growing and nurturing ourselves as people, so that whatever it is that we're doing, we can show up and be awesome in.
100%.
If we're 100%, if we're whole, we can be excellent in whatever it is that we're doing. This was so good. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
So many takeaways, so many gems.
Thanks, man.
I appreciate you chatting with us. I appreciate you for watching Perspective Global Media. Hakeem Valles, you just heard everything. Now follow up. I know as soon as this broadcast is done, I'm going to go find Hakeem on LinkedIn. I'm going to send him a LinkedIn request. Please follow up.
Quick piece of advice, honestly, real quick. Whoever you want to meet, whoever you want to do business with in the business world, add them on LinkedIn. When they connect with you, don't just have them as an arbitrary number as a follower. One thing I've been doing, it's new, and I don't think anyone else is doing it, so, like, this is very new. Send a 10-second video saying, "Hi, Monique." Definitely say the name first. "Hey, Monique, super happy to be connected with you. Hope my content can bring you some value along the way. If there's anything you need or any questions you have, don't hesitate to reach out. Hope you have a great day." Okay,
so you just stepped my LinkedIn connection game up. So what I would do is I have like a somewhat standard, semi-standard message, and cut and paste it, tweak it a little bit, but the video, because the power of video, again.
I'm telling you. People, we're animals. We can even sense the copy and paste nowadays.
Yeah, well, that's true. The savviness, we're paying more attention to that. That's so good.
I haven't told many people about that yet, because people are going to start to do it.
You heard it here. Exclusive social media connection tip. You heard it from the man. Thank you so much. Again, just that bonus was just the icing on top of it. Just everything, just perfect. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Stay tuned. Day 2 Player Networking event coming to you live from Miami. Thank you, Hakeem. Check out Perspective Global Media. Find Hakeem on LinkedIn. Send him a video connection. Bye.